Hey guys, welcome back. If you saw yesterday, I unboxed some parts that are going to be going into my new computer. Today I'm actually going to be building the computer. A couple of words of note. One, as anybody knows, I have a cat, so she may be heard. Two, not exactly professional. I'll link a few in the description if you want to see more dedicated tech channels. Jay's 2 Cents, Paul's Hardware, and Bitwit are the three I mostly watch. Well, that and Science Studio and Hardware Canucks, but those are the three. Also, a lot of these parts are already out of their boxes, simply for my ease. So anyway, let's start off by showing what we're going to be using. Start off with the fans. For cooling, we've got two Corsair ML140s. Those will go, that's case fans. We're going to have four ML120s. And for the CPU, no wait, I have one more fan. Where'd it go? For another fan, I'll have a 140 Fantex fan. I don't really know what its name is. For the CPU cooling, we'll have a Corsair or Cooler Master Air Pro 4 with a second fan on it to make it a push-pull. For storage, we will have a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue mechanical hard drive, a 500 gig Western Digital Blue SATA SSD. That'll have some games on it, and for the most part. For boot drive and select games, there will be a 960 Evo from Samsung. It's 250 gig M.2 drive. Let's see. For RAM, we have 16 gigs of gigabyte Trident Z RGB RAM at 2400 speed. Let's see, what's next? For power, we will have a EVGA 850 G2 modular power supply. It's gold rated if I remember right, with custom cable mod cables. The graphics card will be a Gigabyte Aorus 1080 Ti. What do I want to show next? The motherboard will also be a Gigabyte. It is a Z370 Aorus Gaming 5. CPU is an Intel i7-8700K. So it's a 6-core, 12-thread, I think 3.7 base, 4.7 boost. And then for just miscellaneous things, I've got some cable extensions in case I need them from Silverstone for the fans. I'm going to have a DVD drive because I do still use them. I know that pretty much everything's digital now, but I still use them. I don't know if I'm going to use this, but it is a 2.5 inch to 2.52 inch. I don't know. It's a drive bay adapter for one of the bays that the disk drive goes in, so I can use it with the hard drive. I think that about wraps up. Oh, plus the Thermaltake Core. What was it called? The Core V51 with power cover. So I do believe that is everything I'm going to need. So I will do a quick cut. This video is going to be a lot of cuts and fast forwards. So I'm going to do a quick cut to setting up the motherboard. Okay, as I'm sure y'all can probably guess, I've already taken the motherboard out of its box. I've also gotten a few things out of the box that I'm going to need to. The instruction manual's off to the side. I got the I/O shield. I got all the SATA cables because I wasn't sure which ones I'd want. And I think that's everything I got out of the box. This is actually my second take. The first one, the sound was terrible, and I didn't even notice till I'd already finished with the motherboard. So, first thing I want to do is I'm going to install the M.2 drive. It goes in a little slot right here. Well, and there. And there. But I consulted the motherboard manual to determine which one would be the best for what I want to do. And that would be this one right here. That's not closed. So, loosen this screw right here. I would say this is my first time installing M.2, but technically, since I've already done all this, it's the second time. See if it goes any smoother. Okay, that'll be our system drive with Windows and a few games. Next up is the RAM. It's got a little notch in it that lines up with a notch on the RAM right there. Easier to point with the screwdriver. The RAM right there. So I'm actually holding it backwards. You check the motherboard to figure out which slots to populate better. So mine has either these two or these two. So it says these are A though, so I'm going to use them. Pop those tabs open, line up the notch, and apply firm pressure. Okay, next step will be installing the CPU, which I don't know if I can actually get this at an angle that'll work. Let's see. That might work. Right here is where the CPU goes. That's actually a cover. It'll pop off on its own. So you push, you can't see it because of the RAM. Let's see here. I might have to turn this. Push this lever in right here. Pull out, push up, and then get the CPU out of its little clamshell. Line up the gold triangle with the gold notch on there. Or there's little pegs that stick out. You can line up those too. Drop it in there. Put that down. And with a little bit of pressure, that cover pops off. Now I just realized I forgot to take the standoffs for the cooler off, but that simply installs just by, well, screwing that back plate there on. Just those little, I think they're nuts right there, so that just helps hold it rigid. So next step will be to apply some thermal paste, which if I didn't get all of it off, but I got most of it whenever I screwed up. So did not mean to throw that. That ought to work. So, fun part will be lining this up. Just, what was our hair on there? Gently set that down on it. Then work this through. For this one, it just kind of pops open and lines up with the pegs there, like so. Start at one corner, get it started so you can know for sure it's in there. Do the same with the other corner. Am I not? Okay. I'm going to fast forward the part where I'm trying to figure out why I'm not lined up right. Get one started. Get the other started. Get the opposite corner started. Tighten them down. And it's on. Next up are the fans. So I'm into the CPU fan header, which I didn't show, but is like right up here. And the other one will be going into system fan 1 right here. And into that it goes. There it goes. Just like so. Okay, so that is the motherboard ready. I'm going to do a quick cut and we'll start putting the tower together. Okay, so for our case we have the Thermaltake Core V51 Power Cover Edition. I'm going to be replacing this plastic panel with tempered glass, but side panel comes off, a couple of thumb screws. So pull those off, set this down to the side. Actually, it's the last time y'all will be seeing that. Go ahead and remove the other side if it works the same way. Okay, so one of the reasons I like this case, and one of the reasons I picked it, is because these trays are removable. So first thing I'm going to do is remove them. There are thumb screws for it right here and down here, along with a couple on the back. I've already gotten all the little screws and whatnot for the case out, so they'll often be tucked in, probably in one of the drive cages if the case has one. Next step for me is, because I'm going to replace all the fans, actually I'm going to want to do this at some point, so just to make this a little easier to work in, I'm going to take the power cover here off. Okay, now for one of my personally more annoying things too, taking this dang cover off, or front panel off. I always feel like I'm going to break it. So, since I'm going to be needing the front drive cage, I'm going to be needing these two, at the very least the top one. On the back, there are tabs that hold them in place, so just pull it back and pop each one out. Okay, now we can start taking the included fans out. It comes with 2 intakes, 1 exhaust. One thing I will note before I cross the camera is a lot of cases have standoffs pre-installed. This one didn't, but I just left them on. See, I don't know if the light will come off, but right there, there, there. So there are 9 standoffs. Different size motherboards need different standoffs. Now removing case fans, the fans that came with the case, is completely optional. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Or it just depends on your preference and if you find ones that you like or that work better. So start off by putting the one on the back. Most, if not all, fans should have a label that tells you which way the air goes. That is so not going to show up. Wait, there it is. So that tells you which way the fans spin, which way the air moves. So since this is an exhaust, we probably want it like up here. Probably want it facing that way. Next, we're going to put 3 of the ML140s up at the top, or not 140s, 120s. And again, you've got the markings. Okay, that's it for the 120s. Let's grab the 140s and put them up front. Okay, so I grabbed the 140s and also grabbed another 120 that's going to go in the bottom. And it looks like I'm going to have to, whoops, sorry, turn the case on its side to, that didn't help any at all, to get this one on. Next we'll put the disk drive in. Just as simple as lining it up and sliding it in. Oh, it would be if this case actually did this right, but go ahead and put the hard drive in this thing. Let's slide it in from right here. You know what? Maybe I'll just reuse I'll use one of the drive cage hanging things. Because apparently with this case, you can take this out of the drive cage, put the actual drive in it, like so, and then apparently just hang it back here. The only issue I have with it is it creates the need for more SATA cables. Well, if I'm going to do that. I really liked the setup I had. So I'm going to try again putting this in. I think I can actually put the SSD up here too. Let's hope that works. And really, that's about all we can do with the case as it is. And this point is when we start needing to put the motherboard in. So that being said, let's go ahead and pop the cover back onto this. Okay. Let's get this, the cables tucked away so I can put the side panel on to put the motherboard on. Helps to lay the tower flat whenever you put the motherboard on. So let's go ahead and route one of these cables through. That time it closed. Put the thumb screws back on. Okay, let's layer down. Give me a second and I'll adjust the camera. Okay, change of plans because I want to get that cover back on. I'm going to do the power supply first. And I'm going to show you what goes where. So this bulky cable here that I'm opening right now is the motherboard cable. If I can get it out of there. So it's got this on one end, it's 24, and this on the other end. So let's get this plugged in there. And now that is too. Oh wait. Yeah, it's in. Okay. I will route all these after I get the motherboard in. Next one we're going to plug in will be the supplemental power for the CPU. One end looks like that. These are kind of fused together. The other end looks like this. They basically look the same. So which one says CPU? CPU 1, and it goes. Let's see. I want to use two separate cables for the graphics card. One will look like this. Plug that into VGA 1. I mean, it's not, it'll look like this. It's not a big deal that it's split. And the last cable will be the SATA power cable that runs to the disk drive, hard drive, and the solid state drive. I'm going to use a 4-header just to get me the little distance I need, and it plugs in like that. It goes into SATA 1. And there we go. Let's take out the tray it sits on and then put it under it. Now, if you'll direct your attention over here, I don't know if we can. Let's try moving the camera a little bit. You can see right here, there are spots where the power supply needs to be screwed in. Now for what you've probably really been waiting for since I said it initially, I will be putting the motherboard in. Very important detail. The I/O shield. I do not want to have to pop this thing back off. Looks pretty. It goes in a slot down here. Okay, I think I got it on there. Now for the motherboard. Line it up with the standoffs or with the shield, and that should line up with the standoffs as well. Okay, let me grab all the screws I need. Now most of this will be difficult to make out. There are little holes there, 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 down over here, 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 over here, and over there to line up. Okay, we got it in. Now let's stand it up and start working cables. There we go, that's a pretty good view. This is graphics card. Oh, one thing we didn't put in is the graphics card. There we go. So we want to move that cable out of the way, but take these two covers off. Pull those out. And get our graphics card. Okay, so this is going to go into this slot, so pop that open. Line it all up. Push firmly until you hear it click. I don't think I lined it up right. There it goes. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's in now. Guess I'll just have to screw it all in and hope for the best whenever I turn it on. Okay, so start off, this is one of the graphics cards. So this would be CPU. So let's put the cable comes on first, make it look a little tidier. Now that I think I've got these lined up. Okay, I think it's in. Nope, it's not in. Taking this dang comb off until I'm done. Okay, now they're on. Now it's on. So, let's see here. I have to identify the cables one at a time for the comb. Oh. Okay, I want this one here. How do these get tangled up so much? So, I want that one there. There, that's the one I'm looking for now. Okay, CPU is routed. Next we'll route the motherboard through the same hole. Okay, so next let's route this SATA cable. Okay, that covers the SATA cables. Let's go ahead and route everything else. So, coming to the back, got a fan. Let's start with this. Where's the first fan header I spy? Okay, that'll do it for those. All the fans are done. Now let's get the front I/O taken care of. See here, USB 3.0 is right there. So route the front panel I/O down to the bottom over here. You know what, let's just use the motherboard manual. Okay, I'll take care of the SATA before I do that. Okay. And finally, the graphics card. I think I am done. I just need to put the screws on for the cover. A little cable management in the back. I think that'll do it. Okay, and with that, there's only one last thing to put together. And that is the tempered glass side panel. Let's swing her around. Nice beauty shot of the inside. You know, as much as I like the tempered glass, it doesn't line up with the top. There's a gap. There it is. I guess I can give you all a proper ending by turning it on. Here's the RAM. Going through its post. There's the motherboard. And it's going through a boot loop. Let's get a HDMI cord in there so I can see what it's doing. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to diagnose this, but otherwise it's done, I guess. Well, thanks for watching.